Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and welcome back to another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 20 playthrough with the Austin Peay Governors. So since last episode, I've kind of continued with my out-of-conference schedule at the beginning of the season. We're up through 5 games right now out of 11. So we're at pretty much the halfway mark. We're going to play a game today that'll put us over the halfway mark. But things have been going really well. We're 4-1. I'm surprised about that. Last episode I mentioned if I get through this 11 game stretch with say a 6-5 record, I'd be really happy because I think we're going to be competitive in the conference. But we're exceeding expectations. And just to give you an idea of how we started out, we won against St. Mary's at home in that last game. That was the last episode. We went on the road against South Florida. I thought that was a toss-up, but I figured, being on the road, we'd probably lose that one. It was a real great game, though. Went back and forth, went into overtime. We had to, after taking an early lead in the first half, they bounced back, and I think it came down to us hitting a three to tie it late in the regular time, and went to overtime, and we eked out a win 15, outscored them 15-13 in overtime to win 92-90. And that's probably the biggest win we've had so far this season. After that game, we beat UC Irvine at home pretty handily, 95-77. That was a game I was expecting to win. Our scouting report said we would win it. Then we went on the road against Monmouth. And I thought this was a gimme. They were 0-4. We were heavily favored to win the game in this case. We were 3-0, a good start. Our RPI rank was actually, I think, something like 13th in the country. It's something that this game does keep track of that rating and rates you against the rest of the country. I figured that was a gimme. And then we tanked in that game. We got into early foul trouble. We were really never in the game, even though halftime score was tied. I don't think I think it times tied 15. There was 20 lead changes, but it just felt like we were not going to win that game the way we should have. We let them stay in the game too long, and then they just ran away with it towards the end. So that was our first loss of the season. Pretty big letdown. I thought if we win this one 4-0, we beat William and Mary 5-0. We might, going up against Mississippi State, we might have some considerations in the, the rankings, but wasn't to be. I figured, well, after being overconfident, I guess that took me down a peg. I thought, we're probably going to struggle a little bit more than I'm thinking. But then we played William and Mary at home and just really had a great performance. It was not even close the whole game. We dominated start to finish. Didn't really have any standouts either, which to me, I'm kind of good with that. We had a very balanced scoring in that game. I mean, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 of our starters in double digits in scoring, 2 of our bench players in double digits. A good game all around. Ben Martin, shooting guard, I think. He had the best game. I think he is, yeah. Another senior. He had the best game at 15 points, 10 points, sorry. But good balance performance from him. So now I'm going to go ahead and play this Mississippi State game today because I feel like that's, of all the games we've got scheduled in the preseason, well, not preseason, but before we hit our conference, outside of Memphis, which is going to be the last game we play before we go into conference play, Mississippi State's going to be the next biggest challenge, and I thoroughly expect to lose to Memphis, so I may not even show that game, but I'm really thinking Mississippi State, if we can win that one, I think it's going to say a lot about how strong and balanced this team is. Currently, from the scouting report, we are actually showing a better win percentage chance against Mississippi State, but it's going to be on the road. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. But before we get into the game, I want to hit on a few other things. I've been playing around with some of the reporting and stats in this game, and I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing. I do still wish there was maybe a I don't know. Sometimes you get to these screens and you're unable. A lot of the things are not clickable. But for the most part, this stat screen I've found is pretty good. I mean, you can sort, based on several stats here: minutes they're playing, rebounds, points, a lot of percentage, shot percentage. So I found this to be pretty fun and to get a good handle on the kind of team I have or the kind of performance that they're having so far. I don't, like I said about that last game, I'm not seeing any real standouts on the team. If I just went by points per game, Ben Martin, the shooting guard, leading 12.8. Jepson, the strong forward, who I think honestly is probably the best player on the game or on the team. And what I like about him is he is just a sophomore, so he's going to be here a couple years. He is at 12.4. So those two guys I think are leading the way, but not in a dominant way. I think there is some balance. What I'm really surprised by is Mike Holland, my backup center. This guy is not rated very highly at all. 1.5 potential, but he's gotten some playing time as my starter, has gotten in foul trouble in a few games. And he's showing good performances almost every game that he plays. And if I look at his game logs, if you open up his player profile and you can look at each game for the season, the first 3 games of the year, he was in double digits in points, had pretty good plus minus. Like a lot of players on the team, he struggled in that Monmouth game, but came back and really contributed again against William and Mary. So I'm liking how this guy's looking, and I'm hoping that he's going to develop a little bit this season, and if not be the full-time starter next year, at least maybe it'll be kind of a balanced platoon type situation between him and whoever else I'm able to pick up. But so far he is not. Definitely hasn't embarrassed himself, and he's looked better than I thought he was going to look. Maybe the rebounds could be better, but that could be just a factor too of the amount of minutes that he's getting. Another thing I wanted to look at too is I hadn't paid too much attention to this, but you have your head coach, of course, which is me, but you also have your other staff, and it's important to probably get these guys assigned to where they need to be assigned to. And so you've got a first assistant, second assistant, third assistant. They have their own individual ratings. Mine, I just put balanced 3 stars up and down. But you can see some of these guys are better at certain tasks than others. For instance, Howell is better at player development than, say, a scouting or some of these other things. Robertson, recruiting, he might be the better option at recruiting. He's the only other 2-star there. Dawson, 1 star up and down the line. So he's not going to be doing much for me. But I looked at my, I think it's going to be under strategy. Nope, assigned coaches. I looked at the assigned coaches and realized, okay, the 3 things that you can assign them to: recruiting, scouting, practice. I had it kind of screwed around here. So Howell being 3 stars in player development, that's his strong suit. That's where you want to put your, at least I'm hoping this will play out, but the way I'm understanding the game, he's going to be the better coach to run the practice team, because practice, as it says here, the coach is assigned to practice. You help him run practice and prepare for it, but it also impacts player development during the season, and as well as gains in proficiencies in offensive and defensive sets. So with him being ranked higher in player development, I'm hoping that him leading the practices even some of these guys who are on the bench and not getting much play time, I'm hoping they're going to develop because of that. So I had him at scouting, I think, or maybe even recruiting before that. So switching him over, I'm going to be interested to see if that makes any difference in ratings progressions for some of these younger players on the team. And then the rest of the guys, I put Robertson at recruiting and then Dawson at scouting, which with him being rated at 1 star out of 5 on that, that might mean some of these scouting reports are going to come out skewed, but I feel like that's the risk I have to take with the staff that I have. You could, or I could, go out and hire a new assistant, and hire some better assistants. But the thing about that is, if I look at I think that's under my office, I have a budget that I have to play around with. And I think it's going to show up either under recruiting class or recruit players. That's probably where it's going to show up for sure. Yeah, team budget. I'm down to $39,000. That's probably not going to be enough to cover recruiting and the things I need to do with recruiting and to get a better assistant. So I'm going to have to go with what I have there for now. And as I play along with this, I'm hoping that these assistant coaches' ratings, I hope they develop too. The more time they spend in whatever task I'm giving them. So hopefully their proficiencies get better. But I wanted to point out those two things, just the stats, the way you can kind of look at your team, how they're doing with some of the reports in game, and then highlight that staff. I think that's going to be pretty important to do to make sure you're assigning the right assistants to the right task. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get into the game. Quick note on recruiting. It's still sucking. I'm really behind on recruiting. I thought I was putting enough time into it. Now I think I didn't put enough time into it, and it's really affected me. With 5 scholarships available, I've offered 4. I've got 1 still dangling out there to offer, but I haven't gotten anybody interested enough in the school to offer. It's a good possibility that I may not be able to fill all 5 scholarships going into next season, and our depth's going to be pretty tough. So that's why it's doubly important that I get some player development throughout this season. So now going into the Play Sim screen, a lot of games in our conference today. Tennessee State, who is also 4-1, they're going to be playing Hampton. They might have a good chance of winning that there at home. But big game for us, though, with Mississippi State. And I appreciate the comments that I've gotten so far. One comment in particular mentioned that maybe the game is a little bit too fast-paced. And I'm just doing the fast play-by-play here because I don't want to have the episode run too long. But the slider, you can go down to where it's slow enough that you can follow play-by-play at the same time you're following the action on the screen. I just want to go through and get through the games a little bit quicker for the episode, but just know that there's a lot of ratings that you can adjust that will make a difference, and we might look at them when we start the game. So, ready to go. I'm going to start out with a balanced offensive set here. Defense, same auto switch, which we're probably going to go from man-to-man to maybe a 1-2-2 zone or press. I'm not sure if it'll be a 1-2-2 or 1-3-1 at this point, but I'm going to leave it alone for now, and let's see how we start out. All right, so we're in the gray, and we score first, 2-0. And it's going to be a dead ball out of bounds to Austin Peay. And I think I have this speed a little bit slower than the last episode anyway. Hopefully that's a little bit easier to follow. A slam there from Mississippi State to tie it. We come back and score a basket. Kick ball by the defense. Looks like shooting, not much going on right now. We're just 1 for 3 in field goals. They tied it up 4-4. And it looks like they're going like some kind of zone pass ball with a D. And first foul here on Mississippi State. First foul in the game. and a score and a foul. So a 3-point play there from Anderson, I believe, who is currently injured, but it's just a slight injury. I'm hoping he's going to be all right. I think he was at 89% or so coming into this game. Shooting a problem right now for both teams, but we're tied 7-7. And another foul, this time on Fleming. Grauer throws the pass away. I'm a little bit disappointed, I guess, in the point guard play so far this season. Mississippi State's really building their league here. They're up by 4. Some turnovers happening. We're struggling a little bit. Out of bounds, Austin Peay ball. Another foul for them, though. They're up to 4 team fouls. We've only got 1, but we can't convert. Cunningham throws the ball away. Not getting those rebounds either. Another thing I didn't mention, I'll probably cover this in a later episode. I have played around with the strategy settings, trying to match, our strategy, our sets for offense and defense with the players that we have. One of the things that we don't have is good ball control and passing, and I think that's there's some offensive sets that are probably going to be impacted by that. And so I want to make sure that, we can't get it to hit, but I want to make sure as the season goes on that I work closer on that. It's 15-11. I'm going to start going favoring outside. I don't know. I don't know if I need to change anything else for now, but defense, their field goal percentage is pretty low. Another foul on them. That's their 5th. But we're just 8 for 19, so we're not doing much better. I'm sorry, they're 8 for 19. We're tanking. I'm looking at the wrong thing. We're 6 for 17. So our shooting is just really terrible right now. Another foul. They're 6th. You know what? Okay, let me try this. I'm going to favor the inside just for a while. Maybe this is why our field goal percentage is bad. With them in foul trouble right now, maybe we can get something going inside. And there was a 3-pointer. We had a chance to tie it. Can't convert. And they score again. It's 20-16 right now. Another turnover. That's our 6th turnover of the game. They're winning that turnover battle pretty easily. Mitchell throws it away, so it's back to us. He draws the foul, Martin does. That's the 7th team foul. He's going to go to the line regardless, and he hits them both. So a 4-point game. We're staying close, but pass deflect out of bounds. But both teams are shooting really bad right now, and I feel like if they get hot, it's going to be hard to keep them down. So another foul for them. They're 8th. We're going to go to the line and hit the first one, but we get the rebound and a 3 to tie it up, 22-22. Mississippi State does bounce back with a quick one, but 2-point game now. And a foul. Luckily, he missed the shot, but he hits the first free throw, hits them both. So we got 4.5 minutes left. It's a 4-point game. Playing pretty close, but they are definitely winning the rebound battle. Now they've jumped up on us by 7. A good 3 there from somebody. We're 3 for 7 in 3-pointers. And another foul on them, the 9th team foul, but we can't convert. And a travel, for Mississippi State. So we get the ball back, 3-point game. And we tie it with a 3. We are 4 for 8 in 3-pointers. Come on. We need to score here. Take the lead. And we do. Marty Anderson hits the basket, draws the foul, and he converts. So we are up by 3. That's probably our biggest lead of the game, one of the few times we've led. And they miss a 3. We get it back, but don't convert. and Jordy throws it away. So we've got the ball. They're pressing, and another foul. That's their 10th, I believe. And we hit both free throws. We're up by 5, our biggest lead of the game. And a turnover. Another turnover on both ends. It's a 34-31 game, 36-31. And another turnover from them. They're up to 9 on turnovers. So we are winning the turnover battle now. And we got the halftime report coming up. Big surprise, 36-31. We went on a nice run there. And surprisingly, it was almost as soon as I turned it to favor inside. And just, my theory, I know this is just a simulation. I wonder if maybe with them in foul trouble, maybe that kind of freed up some space there on the floor and allowed us to jump ahead. But Marty Anderson is my starting center. He's had a good first half, 10 points, 5 rebounds. I think I should at least go back in and stay with this play style, favoring inside for a while. Field goal percentage improved maybe a little bit, but 37.5 for the quarter, not very good, but 39.4 from them. And, we've already got 10. We've already been to the line 10 times. So I'm hoping that the fouls stay a problem for them. I'm going to stick the favor inside, and right away they draw a foul on us. Hopefully it doesn't go back their way in the second half. They score the first basket. It's a 3-point game now. Out of bounds, Mississippi State ball. So a turnover. 9-7 on turnovers. Oh, we scored 38-33, and I think that may have been, I thought it was Anderson, but it wasn't. Another foul, though, for us. He misses the first one, hits the second one. It's a 4-point game now. And Anderson draws a foul. It's going to be their first foul. First foul of the second half. Anderson hits them both. It's a 6-point game. Rebounds, we're being out-rebounded just a little bit, 20-17, but that's a big thing. And now a 3 from them gets them back within a point. Another foul on them. And another foul. So looking at their lineup now, they've got 4 guys on the floor with 2 fouls. That was their third of the half. We score 43-39. We get the ball back. Another score, 45-39. So we're back up by 6. They force a 3, can't hit it. Marty Anderson called for a foul. Just his first foul. And a charge. Ryan Dillard from Mississippi State, his third foul. And they're taking him out. Turnover. And a foul. Anderson, his second foul. And pass deflected out of bounds, should stay to them. And they convert. 4-point game now. We're really cold. Hitting just 385. Shooting. Man. So 47-41. Action is really fast-paced right now. A lot of back and forth. And Grauer, point guard, throws it away. And he just walked in on that one. 4-point game. 7-point game. 3-pointer there. And we've got some new guys on the floor subbed out. Back to our starting lineup here. Looks like we had a foul there. And he misses the first one. They are just 3 for 6 in free throws. Kick ball by the defense. Oh, he misses it. Misses that easy layup. 5-point game. That would have been pretty huge if we could have made that. Pass deflected out of bounds. Stays with us. Man, we can't get him to fall right now. Luckily, they're still cold. Shooting just a little bit better than us. And another turnover from them. So turnovers, we're winning that battle 10-13. But they're back within 3. We cannot get it to hit. Finally get a basket. It's a 5-point game. A 3-pointer to go up by 8. Our biggest lead of the game. We're up by 10. And that, a lot of back and forth here, I know. But 7.5 minutes left. Turnover. And that was a good possession for them. Another turnover. 6-point game. 3-point game. They hit a 3-pointer. And Greg Edwards turns it over. So what should I do with 6 minutes left? Do I need to stay with this, or do I need to favor outside a little bit? I think I'm going to favor outside for a couple minutes anyway and see what it does. Defensive foul right off the bat. Oh, and they've tied it up with a 3-pointer. So from going up by 10, we're now in danger of losing this lead. Good conversion there. It's 59. Oh, and they hit a 3-pointer. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so we can follow this. So, 4-point game. I think we blew it. They have the big momentum here. They've just really been rolling it with us. May have slowed it down too far. Turnover again. And the 3, and I think that's probably going to do it. I think we've lost our momentum here. We can't get anything to fall. They must have just... I think that 10-point lead just scared them, and they woke up. So I'm going to go back a little bit faster here. Dillard threw it away. We've got the ball back, but I just don't see us being able to convert. I'm going to tell them to shoot threes, even though it looks like that's what they're doing, but that's the only way we're going to get back in this game. 2.5 minutes left. They're converting too easy. There's a big 3, but we're way, way behind. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to try a timeout. It's an 8-point game. It's done, but intentionally foul. It's a little bit disappointing. It really is, because not much you can do to control it, you know. Yeah, they're gonna handily win this. Unfortunately, I can't think of anything else except maybe that's just what happened. We went up by 10. Maybe we got overconfident. I don't know if there's something I can do at that point. I'm sure maybe there's something I can do, like a stall offense. But I'm still learning. So be patient. I'm not an expert at this game yet, but that's probably something on me. I probably should have made some adjustments to keep us winning that game, but we played so well start of the year that I've kind of just been riding it out, and I'm getting a little bit too overconfident probably in game, where I need to pay more attention to what's going on. But let's take a look at the. Sorry, it went. Looks like it went. I lost my full screen there. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. But here we go. Austin Peay Governors 71, Mississippi State Bulldogs 78. On our side, Martin had a good game, 17 points. Anderson, poor second half. I mean, he came into the half with 10 points, I believe, and 5 or 6 rebounds. So he had a poor second half. That may have contributed. Off the bench, trying to get Ivory some time. He only picked up just 2 minutes, though. He's a freshman freshman point guard. I'm hoping to develop a little bit better and then for next season. But not a good performance there. We were shooting under 40. They picked it up in the second half, just a little bit under 50% field goal shooting. We were 11 for 24 from the floor, but a lot of that was late in the game. We were forcing them up there. Free throw shooting, they were pretty poor, or it would have been a bigger blowout. Although a lot of that has to do with the end of the game, us deciding to foul so much. But that puts us at 5-2. And I'm sorry, I keep hitting this expanded window there to see what it's going to do. So let's look at the standings in the Ohio Valley Conference. So Tennessee State still hot, but I doubt their schedule is going to be as good as ours. But they are 5-1. Austin Peay 4-2. Belmont 3-1. I gotta feel like Belmont and maybe Murray, even though they're 0-5. Tennessee State. Those are probably going to be some tough conference teams anyway, and that's kind of the way it's shaping up. Tennessee Tech, I'm not so sure about. That might be just because of their early schedule. I don't know. They played Richmond and won. Played at Baylor, lost, and George Mason lost. That Richmond game is a pretty big win for them, though. So I don't know. They might be pretty competitive too. But for now, we are 4-2, still ahead of the pace I thought we would be on. We got 5 more games left before we get to the conference schedule, and I'm probably going to just go through those offline. Need to change that back to Austin Peay. I think I'll come back, and next episode we'll start out with either Tennessee Martin or Tennessee State, maybe that Tennessee State game, and just to see how we start out the conference. I'd like to get through full season in maybe 4 or 5 episodes if you guys are going to follow me with it. But hope you're enjoying it so far. I'm still learning the game, but the more I learn about it, I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying this. This is kind of this might be one of those games that helps fill the gap for me until baseball season comes around. But it might be something that I continue to play throughout the rest of the year, honestly, year round. But as always, I appreciate the likes and the watches, the subscribers. If you're still getting my notifications and staying with me, look for the Out of the Park baseball videos to come too in the future, not too far from now. But I appreciate the likes, comments, and support for my channel. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next episode.